welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm doing a vintage cube draft. As always, this might be my last draft of the season, might be the last video I ever post, who knows. All you can do is come back tomorrow to find out. This is the Final Fantasy run of the vintage online cube. There's a Moxen in my pack. I am obviously taking that. Looted Delta is a good card, Grief, Mind Twist, all good cards. What do I think I'm actually going to wheel here? It would be sick to get this Giver of Runes back, but it's the only white card in the whole pack. If anyone at the table is interested in white, they're just going to snap that up. Imperial Seal, Ulamog, Coveted Jewel, those are cards I might get back. Witherbloom Apprentice is not been getting taken highly. I've ended up with it accidentally in multiple drafts. Like, I have not prioritized it at all and just catch both pieces on the wheel. Has been a theme this season. Evora, Insatiable Air. When this enters and when it deals combat damage, make a blood, and when you discard a card, put a +1 counter on it. This card's pretty cool. It can run away. Elspeth is not a card I've played with. Massive top end in a white deck. I'm not a white deck just because I have Moxen, but the aggressive decks are benefited massively by being able to do things ahead of schedule. Doomsday and Thassa's Oracle, both in this pile, is really interesting. I think if I take one, I could wheel the other. Yeah, this is the choice that every draft comes to. I could take Brynhildr or Evora and just try to be an aggro deck with a Mox in it. Or I could take Thassa's Oracle and try to do something interesting. I'm going to take the Oracle and try to wheel that Doomsday. Thoughtseize, sweet. That's good in fair decks and good in unfair decks. Wooded Foothills kicking around. If I'm going to try to cast a spell that costs black, 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 and a spell that costs blue, blue in the same deck, I'm going to need some mana fixing to make that happen. Unfortunately, Wooded Foothills is neither of those pieces, so in order to make Wooded Foothills work in my Dimir deck, I would need to pick up a Breeding Pool and an Overgrown Tomb, or a Blood Crypt, like something like that that touches either piece on the sides, or one of the Triomes that includes Dimir. I think here I'm going to take Thoughtseize and be pretty happy to have it. Sunken Ruins, that's a big way to cast black, 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 and blue, blue in the same deck. One of the best cards you could actually ask for to ever do that. Brain Freeze is very interesting, though. I've had Underworld Breach in, I think, 3 drafts this season, and I've never looked at a Brain Freeze to go with it. I don't have the Breach here. I do have the Oracle. Brain Freeze is also the win con in a Storm deck. I think I'm more likely to wheel Sunken Ruins than I am Brain Freeze. And although I think Sunken Ruin is the discipline pick here, I am taking Brain Freeze. I could also take Necromancy and try to dovetail into Reanimator, but that's boring and easy. I'm going to take the Brain Freeze and try to do something cool. Brazen Borrower, Kaito, Displacer Kitten. Displacer Kitten is a combo archetype all by itself. I'm interested in that. Kaito's cool, but I hope to barely have any creatures in my deck to ninjutsu it, and Brazen Borrower is just generic catch-all filler. I will take the Displacer Kitten. Kappa Workshop Ponder. I like all 3 of those. The Mishra's Workshop Doomsday deck sounds like kind of a mess. We do know there is a Coveted Jewel swirling around the table here, but Ponder can help me work through a Doomsday pile, which is something that I need to do. I can't just draft Doomsday and Thassa's Oracle and call it a day. I need to actually consider what my Doomsday pile will look like. And all that assumes that Doomsday even comes back to me, which would be really stingy of my pod if it doesn't. But anything's possible. Karn Scion is a cool thing to flicker with Displacer Kitten. It is a backup win con in a artifact deck or any sort of mid-range or control deck. Plussing Karn can clear 2 cards out of a Doomsday pile. Baleful Mastery is generic, mediocre removal. Either Spellbomb I would say the same about. Pentad Prism could help me with that BBB-UU problem. I want to take Karn though. Give myself some options on this. Displacer Kitten's half of my deck. Jace Wielder is good if you're just doing blue stuff. Like, you can just spend 4 mana and draw 2 cards a turn. That's pretty cool. And it's excellent with Doomsday. I'm going to take that, though. I am sad to pass the opportunity of the Candelabra. Cryptic Command and Coveted Jewel back. I think having passed the workshop, it's Cryptic Command for me here. Creeping Tar Pit, hell yeah. This wasn't the Doomsday pack, was it? It's the next one? Oh my god. My Doomsday didn't come back. I guess Talisman of Dominance is the correct colors here. Alright, backup plan. Now I need to open an Underworld Breach. Okay, Oliphant is a fetch land, kind of. Not in colors that are currently useful to me, but I think it's potentially more useful than the other stuff. Brazen Borrower, happy to get that back. Okay, so Doomsday's off the table, but we do have this Displacer Kitten, and I did start taking other cards that can function in the kind of blue mid-range. I wonder if it was greedy to take Thassa's Oracle over Doomsday when they were in the same pack together. Like, which one's more likely to wheel, and which one is more replaceable? I literally ended up with 2 Thassa's Oracles that pack, and no Doomsdays. Memory Jar, alright. I'll spec on that. Obviously, you can't predict what cards will be opened or what the table will do, but now I am kind of regretting I don't have that Coveted Jewel and Fisher's Workshop in my deck. Pack 2 is here. We've got Aluris, which I'm definitely not companioning. Windswept Teeth, which does not fetch any of the colors I'm hoping to play. Subtlety, Dismember. These are just good kind of generic cards that you can put in your deck as interaction. Palantir I like, but not better than Subtlety and Dismember. And then Phyrexian Metamorph is kind of the backbone of a bunch of artifact synergy stuff. I think I want the Subtlety here, and then I would be happy wheeling Metamorph, Dismember, maybe even Hard Evidence, definitely Palantir. I'd probably play Caustic Bronco if it comes back. Occult Epiphany is very good. Tishana's Tidebinder is fine. Retrofitter is very good. If I end up in a place where I'm... Like, if I have Tolarian Academy, I want Retrofitter. I think Occult Epiphany is just the better card here. This moves so many cards around, it impacts the board immediately. If I do end up in a Reanimator pocket, which is now something that I might do, we really only saw Necromancy pack 1. Could be someone at the tables picking up that stuff, but we didn't see a big monster or a Reanimate other than Necromancy. I'm going to take Occult Epiphany. Spellseeker can get Brain Freeze. That's actually big. Sedgemoor Witch already sent the Witherbloom command or Witherbloom Apprentice pack in, so I'm not interested in this combo. Spellseeker frequently wheels. The only other card from this pack I'd really consider is Mere Battlesphere, just in case I open a Tinker, but I think I want Spellseeker. Like, that can pop off with Displacer Kitten. Ooh, Teferi. Babe, wake up. New second color just dropped. Teferi with Mox Pearl and Displacer Kitten draws your deck. First real monster worth reanimating coming through. We don't have a reanimate yet. I'm taking Teferi here. I would like to get back Mindstone Preordain. I would probably play Plagon. That is at least a value engine with Displacer Kitten. Alright, and with Thassa's Oracle in the deck, as long as I can generate 2 blue as I draw my deck, I now have an infinite combo with the Teferi. Alright, here we go. Oh, I actually already have an infinite combo with Talisman. I can draw as much of my deck as I need to, floating 1 white each time with Teferi and Displacer Kitten. And then with a bunch of white floating, I can play Talisman of Dominance, tap it for blue, bounce it, and then filter white into blue and black. Okay, so I have an infinite combo in the deck. Here's the Chain of Smog. Someone's going to be stoked. Prismatic Ending is now a card I could play. Oh, Narset. Narset's really good. Digs for combo pieces. I like Chrome Host Sea Shark just fine. I like Shorakai just fine. But Narset pays me out for having wheels. If I end up getting a wheel, like I said, digging for combo pieces, Teferi and Mox Pearl both are hittable off of that. Doesn't stretch my colors at all. Ancient Tomb, Saheeli, and Basalt Monolith are all cards I could conceivably want. There's also an now on-color dual land in here. I don't think I can take Archive over Ancient Tomb or Saheeli. I think it's Ancient Tomb. That gets Kitten out faster. I have a lot of blue pips in the deck. Like, it's not going to help me cast Narset, Jace, Cryptic Command, but Karn, Displacer Kitten, getting those down earlier, a bigger Occult Epiphany, Memory Jar. I'll take that. Yeah, I currently have 1 black card and 2 ways to cast it, and 1 white card with 1 way to cast it. Gotta figure that out, but that's a pretty light splash. This Oliphant not really doing anything, just hanging out over here, reminding me that I have it, just in case. If I open Wheel of Fortune back 3, Oliphant will suddenly be in the deck. Whoa, Tundra, what's up? Fisher's Bauble is another card alongside Mox Pearl that could go infinite with Teferi and Kitten, but I can't take that over Tundra. Right in the deck, the perfect dual land. Mox Opal. Can I support that? Barely, not really. I could take it on spec. It is another infinite button with Teferi. Consider is just right here, and it's free and easy, would definitely make the deck. I have 2 reasonable artifacts in the deck. Karn can make them eventually, if I try to storm out in any way. And I want that, but I don't think I can make it work. I'm going to take it on spec. Consider is not that good that I have to pass on exciting specs to get it. Okay. 3 of the cards that I would have played have wheeled here. Phyrexian Metamorph is an artifact now that I care about that, and it's a second copy of whatever the best card in play is. Hard Evidence is also an artifact, and it's an early play. I could grab it with Spellseeker. I don't think it's better than Metamorph, especially with Kitten in my deck. I'll take Sword of the Meek here on spec. Thopter Foundry did not come past me, pack 1. If it gets opened, this is the perfect type of win con for my deck that I'm settling into here. Great Occult Epiphany away. Duelist of the Mind is not a good card, and I'm unlikely to play it. Look at this Savannah. There's no respect for dual lands in this pod, but fetch lands are getting snapped up. Doomsdays are going faster than Savannahs are. I guess I'll take this Duelist. It's another wheel payoff if I open Time Twister. Okay, Mindstone now edges out Plagon since I took this Mox Opal. Tendrils, I already have a Stormwind. These are all cards I would play. Seed Shark is a lot of artifacts over time. Shorakai is an artifact straight up and a draw engine. I think I want Seed Shark. Oh, got my archive back, sweet. I went for Seed Shark over Shorakai in the final moment there because I just looked at my 4-drop slot and how clunky it is. Look at this Mox Sapphire right here waiting for me in pack 3. That's the perfect on-color Mox. I would love to get this Relic of Sauron back. We still don't have the Academy to go with my little blue artifact theme here, but Summon Bahamut and Portal to Phyrexia are 2 giant colorless things that could be cast. Alright, Mox Sapphire get in the deck. Snapcaster Mage, Brain Surge, 4th Air Lingus, Lorien Revealed, Prof's Memory. Another good pack. Can I get a red man in this deck? Is it Oliphant's time to shine? Because 4th Air Lingus is just a 5-star banger. Steam Fence and Volcanic Island have both already gone through the draft, so has Rockrin Triome, so I'm not getting any freebies on this 4th Air Lingus. I would have to cast it the hard way, whatever the hard way is. I think I'm going to take Snapcaster Mage here. Snapcaster with Brain Freeze is pretty cool. That lets me win with half as much Storm as I'd normally need. Yeah, sucks to pass 4th Air Lingus, but I'm just not supporting it in any meaningful way. And I can already go infinite with my deck, so I don't need like a Storm Kill win button. Stock Up versus Fairy Mastermind. Stock Up sees more cards. I think that's all there is to it. I'm trying to put together specific combinations of things here. Alright, Stock Up's in. Wow, Urza. That's one of the better cards I could hope for. Again, VV, I'm not red. I would have taken that 4th Air Lingus if there was a chance at it. Balance is really good too, and I have a bunch of artifact mana that can break it. Urza is better, but man, I wouldn't mind wheeling that Balance. Manifold Key, Red Talisman. Alright, now we suddenly have a red splash. Forensic Gadgeteer, the Basalt Monolith already went through. Lotus Petal and Talisman both help turn on my Opal. Talisman is stickier, and it's the correct colors. Lotus Petal goes off with Teferi, but I have 3 things that do that already. I should take the card that I think will be better. It's probably Talisman. I have a lot of 4s, and just getting up to them is pretty important. But I think Thassa's Oracle, Brain Freeze, or Thassa's Oracle might end up back in the deck because I have to win somehow, but Jace Wielder, I can do the same thing. And now I have a Mox Sapphire, it's even easier. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play 2 things that enable that. Oliphant can get cut here. Ah, the Tolarian Academy. The late breaking at Larian Academy. I saw the Hallowed Fountain first and was getting excited, but here we go. Now we're in. I would love to wheel this Hallowed Fountain if it's not too greedy to hope for. Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, Thopter Foundry. We got a deck. We got a deck, team. That's definitely in. I can go infinite in multiple ways now. That's infinite with Urza. Okay, Planisphere is an artifact and a threat. Grim Monolith is an artifact and mana. No More Lies and Memory Lapse are interaction, which my deck is otherwise pretty soft on. I think I want Planisphere, though. Just count up these artifacts, make them pop. Every spell makes another 1/1, or another 2/2 with Displacer Kitten. Yeah, I'm going to take Planisphere. I did get Relic of Sauron back. Now, pretty happy with that. I don't think I need Portal. I'm going to combo out. I don't have a Tinker to get it. Alright, sweet. This Thoughtseize might not make the deck. Brain Surge versus Prof's Memory. Prof's Memory is just card advantage and then could provide a beatdown plan, but I'm not beating down. It's just not happening. Alright, Brain Surge is in. Fairy Mastermind on the wheel. I don't think I need this Nexus. I just noticed the option to sort by name exists. Why would anyone do that? How is that useful? Alright, Smuggler's Copter and Trinket Mage are both good here. Copter is an artifact. Trinket Mage gets Pearl, Opal, or Sapphire. I think I want Trinket Mage. Just about bringing the combo together here. When Trinket Mage can tutor +1 mana in a variety of ways, that's just a solid card. I don't think I'm supporting this Thoughtseize. We made it this far. A Forensic Gadgeteer can go in. May or may not play it. I don't go infinite with it, but there it is. And since Brain Freeze has been cut, I'm probably not playing Spellseeker either. Yeah, I'm just a artifact control deck. I tried really hard not to build the same deck that I always build, but you saw the packs. What was I supposed to do here? They just gave it to me. I don't think I'm going to play this Memory Jar either. Gush. Probably not playing that. It is sweet with Displacer Kitten, though. Just a surprise extra flicker from no mana. Alright, I have 31 cards here, including the Moxen, which I can put in the land stack. At least the real Moxen, not the Opal. That one's conditional. My artifact count is robust. I have 11 actual artifacts, and then two things that make an artifact guaranteed, and 2 things that make an artifact if I do other stuff. That's a lot of that. My Thoughtseize would have to be cast off of the 1 Creeping Tarpit or the 1 Talisman of Dominance. I think I'm just going to cut Thoughtseize and make my mana perfect, which also means I don't need Talisman of Dominance. My artifact count is fine. I think I want 3 cuts here. Forensic Gadgeteer. This does bust out a lot of card advantage. I have Thopter Foundry and Sword of the Meek. That's a combo. I have Displacer Kitten to Fairy. That's a combo. Got multiple combos here. Yeah, Duelist of the Mind, as predicted, not going to be in the deck. I didn't get a Time Twister or Wheel of Fortune to make that thing really do anything, and even then, it kind of sucks. I kind of like Trinket Mage because I am going to be cheating my land count. I'm probably going to put like 15 lands in this deck, maybe even 14 actual lands, since I have 3 Moxen. Brazen Borrower is that generic filler that maybe I just focus on comboing game 1 and figure out what they're doing and care if I bounce anything on subsequent games. Fairy Mastermind is one of the very few things that I do early in the game. This might be a sideboard card. Gadgeteer busts so crazy with Academy. Maybe I don't need Brain Surge if I have Occult Epiphany, Jace, stock up Narset, Ponder, bunch of stuff already. And Forensic Gadgeteer can see as many cards as Brain Surge in a game if I let it try to work. I do kind of like that Forensic Gadgeteer blocks. Just a 2/3. Sometimes that's all you need to be alive for a little longer. I think I want to cut 1 more card, and then I'll play 14 lands with the 3 Moxen. What am I snapping? I'm snapping Ponder, Stock Up, Occult Epiphany, Cryptic. There are only 4 targets for Snapcaster Mage in my whole deck. Maybe that's where I make a cut, though. That could also be an argument to bring Brain Surge back in. Alright, Snapcaster's out, Mastermind Borrower in. That could easily go the other way, though. Mastermind is a mana sink, where Snapcaster is only a mana sink if I've cast Stock Up or Occult Epiphany this game already. I have lots of ways to trigger Displacer Kitten. Is one plains enough? There's only the Teferi and the Thopter Foundry that need that mana, and then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways to make that mana. I don't want to play a ton of plains because I have all these Jaces and Cryptics and stuff. Yeah, I just don't have spells. This Snapcaster in the sideboard is just screaming at me, but it doesn't really have targets. It simply does not. Okay, this is my deck, and off we go. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw hand round 1. I'm going to keep. I have the freest part of my combo imaginable to loot away with Occult Epiphany. Relic of Sauron. Opponent's got a Findhorn Elves. Let's see where this is going. Ooh, it just got soupy. I was kind of hoping for another forest or like a Stomping Grounds, and then we know exactly what we got to do, but now it's getting weird. Do I want to bounce this Fanatic of Ronus? Or do I want to bounce whatever they do next? I think I'm just going to pass. And if they just play like Questing Beast or something, I'll bounce that. Right, they tapped all their mana, and now they're slowly untapping all of it. Living in fear of Counterspell, which is how I want my opponents to live. Alright, I could kill Findhorn Elves right now. I'm going to do that. I'm going to Occult Epiphany for 1, discard Sword of the Meek, and then block. Oh my god, it comes back? Wow, that didn't even occur to me. Eat that shit, let's go! Alright, that's way better than I thought. Ambush Viper, gotcha. I'm going to play Archive this turn, and set up Cryptic for next turn. That was nasty. Didn't even think of it. Thanks, Magic Online. Phyrexian Metamorph. I don't think that's a card I need access to right now. That doesn't put my combo together. Therefore, I'm not interested. Should I start taking chip shots? Or do I just want to turtle up? I think as the combo control deck, getting into a damage race here is a mistake. Ooh, Mox Pearl. I wish I had one of those. Wink, wink. Primeval Titan. Well, that's pretty big. What lands do you have? Gaia's Cradle, Horizon Canopy. Alright. I'm going to Petty Theft this Primeval Titan. And now I'm untapping with Cryptic available. Definitely regret not attacking for 2. And I have Brazen Borrower. If they just smell a rat and don't replay the prime time, I can flash that in for the beats. Scythecat Cub. Okay. That can become large over time. Activate the Fanatic of Ronus. Alright, I'm definitely countering this. Do I want to bounce Scythecat Cub or draw a card? I think I want to draw a card. Just always moving towards combo. Don't mana tithe me. We got away with it. Alright, I'm taking one from Fanatic here. Ooh, nope, never mind. No, I'm not. Second main, they have or they're drawing a card. That's fair. Probably a good use of resource. Look at me with my deck that's fully functioning right now. Right, Chrome Host Seed Shark. Make a 0/0. These incubators are unlikely to wake up because they'll just die. But I can cast Stock Up now. That one's a 3/3. Thopter Foundry, get in my belly, and I think it's just Island. I still have a land drop to make this turn, and I will leave my squad back on defense as long as they don't die this turn. Fair decks really struggle to beat Thopter Foundry. Nadu, we just became unfair very quickly. Right, yeah, they have Scythecat Cub, which can target Nadu. They can roll through their deck a bit here, depending on what they hit. Fast Bond. All right. Well, they're past the window where that card was going to be any good. I guess if they have a land in their hand, and they do. All right. That was the last chance Fast Bond had to be good here. And they hit. Knight of the Reliquary. They got some sweet ones in their deck. Well done. All right, Knight's in. Knight's good for at least one Scythecat Cub trigger next turn, maybe more, if they have a fetch land in the deck. I guess my fear is, what is their payoff at the end of the road here? Okay, if I invest in Relic, I can get that down and then play Thopter Foundry with the mana from it. I think that's worth doing. Make blue-black. Thopter Foundry. Okay, we're not totally clear here, but I do have a lot going on. And it's just, does their Nadu outgrind my Thopter Foundry from here? I'd feel a lot better with a blue card for this subtlety. But it's okay, we'll live. Right, they played a Plains. Scythecat Cub flips Titania. Oh no, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, this is where I would have liked to add subtlety. Titania is good for Horizon Canopy, which triggers Nadu and draws a card off Horizon Canopy and makes a 5/3 when they sack it. Fractured Identity, chill out. No, these cards are so good. Drawing a card with Titania, make a 5/3. Lots of mana floating. Scythecat Cub is 6/6. That's huge. Sylvan Safekeeper, that's a lot of targets for Nadu if they're willing to go all in on it. They're going after my Thopter Foundry. No surprise there. I will respond by sacking Sword of the Meek. This is the combo. Bring this back. I'll do that again. And then I'm going to sacrifice Thopter Foundry to itself, because it's gone anyway, and I just don't want them to have it. Okay, I have some power and toughness on the board. Less than them. Knight of the Reliquary can also be a XX, where X is however many lands they want to sacrifice, +4. All right, Night Activation stuff going on. I think I've lost this game unless I draw like Urza or something that can really let it rip. Yeah, they tutored up a Forest. Bristly Bill, all right. Yeah, they got the Nadu deck, no doubt. There's Bill. They can start Sylvan Safekeeping if they want. Passing the turn, I'll take it. Urza, big draws? Tundra's not the big draw. I can Karn and plus and hope to hit. I could Karn and minus and just make the world's largest creature. I have Relic of Sauron that can draw 2, discard 1. I think I'm just going to play Karn and make a construct, because I also have all these incubator tokens that can still wake up. I can interact with a subtlety if I need to. My constructs are bigger than their elementals, which is a pretty big deal, like significantly bigger. I could attack with my flyers, but Nadu is huge and in my way. Oh god, they can end step activate Bristly Bill. That's so good. All right, their Cub's bigger than my thing. It's pretty busted when every land they play just flips 2 cards off the top of the deck, which might flip 2 more cards. I think they're going to flip their whole deck on me this turn and kill me with Bristly Bill. Vaultborn Tyrant, sweet. Zurin Orb, yikes. There is a fast spawn in play. There is not a Ramming Up Excavator yet. But like I said, they could probably cast their deck this turn. All right, here's this thing. Gain 3 life, draw a card. I could subtlety that, but I think I'm just so far behind that I need to activate some incubators and start trying to push back. I might just be desperately trying to survive combat. Once during each of your turns, you may play a land from your graveyard or cast a permanent spell with mana value 3 from the graveyard. Am I worried about that? I don't think so. And another problem with subtlety here is if they really want whatever I'm putting on top, they could just sack a land, trigger Nadu, and get it. Okay, they are piling onto Scythecat Cub. Yeah, this thing, they could double the counters still. This is going to be like 50 power. We were out comboed, team. What if I bring in Brain Freeze and just cheese kill them while they're in the middle of this combo? But they still get to survive the turn. Well, that doesn't really work. They would have to actually draw a card and they're just flipping. Hull Breacher. Well, I hate that. That's good against my whole deck. Crater Hook Behemoth. All right. I've seen enough. We're good. We're good. Oh, Nadu. My arch nemesis. Okay, what do I do about this deck? I could hope they don't draw Nadu. Or I could save my Cryptic Command for something better. I don't think I really have a sideboard that makes this better in any way. I could Brain Surge to try to combo harder. Like, Fairy Mastermind isn't a good blocker, and their deck doesn't draw cards other than that Horizon Canopy we saw. So I think Brain Surge comes in here. If I now have Brain Surge, is that a critical mass for Snapcaster to make the cut? In Snapcaster, Cryptic Command is a way I can survive multiple turns against an overwhelming board while I try to get my combo together. Yeah, maybe Trinket Mage is too cute when my opponent's doing stuff like that. All right, let's go. I don't think I want to keep this one lander. It's a one lander that's also just not even very good. If it finds the next land, I'm going to mulligan. All right. This one needs some assistance as well, but Teferi can buy me time and it's part of my combo. I think I'm going to bottom Forensic Gadgeteer out of this hand. Mox Pearl. Sylvan Caryatid. Can I draw my Mox Pearl? No, but I will take an island. I hope they cast something that's worth bouncing with Teferi. Alright, Fnatic qualifies. Zurin Orb. Okay. This is kind of a proper time walk with the Teferi. Bounce Fnatic. Oh, now I can cast Ponder. Let's go. Ponder. Brazen Borrower. Relic. Karn. Karn can start doing stuff. Relic can cast Brazen Borrower or Petty Theft, though. Alright, I think I'm going to stack it like this, where I get the Relic next turn. I might be priced into holding up Cryptic for a round, though. But Brazen Borrower could add that problem. Alright. If they're playing their cat, then I'm likely to use Brazen Borrower instead. Yeah, I'm going to play Relic this turn and represent Brazen Borrower with it. And then I'll untap into Cryptic the turn after that. I don't have to worry about any tricks, because I have Teferi, Bristly Bill. I hope they pile onto the cat. They are piling onto the cat. I'm going to respond. Oh no, they targeted Bristly Bill. Alright, that's fine. Oh no, shit. What just happened? How did that get 2 counters? Oh no, it was a 3-3. I meant to respond to that, so Fnatic Veronis didn't tap for 6. Shit. Please go to combat. Please go to combat. I got twisted up in all the triggers on the stack. Oh, they're sacking Forest. Oh god, they gave me priority. No, they could have floated 4. It didn't matter. Alright. The Forest is coming back. Yeah, I could have avoided this Titania from happening this turn. That was pretty messy. They're piling up on Bristly Bill and the Cub. They're attacking me. Interesting. Does that mean I can keep my Teferi a little longer? I don't think so. I'm just going to bounce this cat while it's little, or while it's big. Make it little again. They can replay it this turn, that's fine. I can tap their squad with Cryptic on subsequent turns. I'm trying to find Displacer Kitten and win the game here. Right, we knew that was there. Plus Teferi. I think I'm going to use Metamorph to copy Relic this turn. Just checking this isn't legendary. It's not. I hope that they sack all their lands at the end of the turn to try to go nuts and kill me with Titania. That would be sweet. That's pretty risky to do, though. I guess what's even the risk, though? Like, I tap the squad once, and then they still attack me for 20 on the next turn. Yeah, they might go for it. They're out of cards in hand. They got 1 left. Still have 3 mana left even after sacking all your lands. Yeah, they might go for it here. It's not like I got that balance back on the wheel. Balance is the card I need against a deck like this one. I just don't have a single sweeper. I have to combo faster than them, which I have not been able to do. Okay, we're in there on a wing and a prayer. Pass the turn. They're going for it. Making at least 1. Made exactly 1. Craterhoof Behemoth resolves. This doesn't matter. I need to draw a card and combo them out. I'm dead next turn with or without that thing. At beginning of combat. Blue, blue. Blue, blue. Tap your squad and I draw a card. Alright, I need Displacer Kitten and a Mox. Let's go. String it together. Snatch this away. Snapcaster, well, I mean, Snap Cryptic was part of the game plan. Jace Wielder. Plus Teferi gives me a bounce. Now I don't need a spell to go with Displacer Kitten if I find it. I have 8 mana. There's nothing I can spend 2 mana on and still Snap Cryptic for 6. Alright, passing the turn. Once Upon a Time resolves. Torsten. They're pretty close to casting that. I mean, they have Guy's Cradle in their deck. Could happen at any time. Cat and Bill popping off here. Beginning of combat. Snapcaster Mage. Target Cryptic Command. Another 2 looks at Displacer Kitten to win the game. Right, they're doubling their creatures in response to Cryptic. They're doubling the counters on their creatures. Might as well tap your squad, draw a card. Stock up. You're saying there's a chance. Alright, I get to look at a lot of cards here. Come on, deck. Urza. Oh my god. Alright, how do I maximize this? Mox Sapphire can be 2 mana this turn because I have Teferi that can bounce it. I don't think I can afford to sneak Urza in here. I think I just have to stock up and hope that Displacer Kitten is among the cards I see. All right, stock up. Show me the kitten. No, bricks all around. Okay, Ancient Tomb is mana. Mox Pearl is mana. I think I just have to take everything that represents mana here. I haven't counted if this matters yet or not. Okay, they have 5, 10, 15, 27, 28 power on the board. And they can make it an additional 15 if they're willing to go in on Zurin Orb, which they probably should be willing to do. I think. All right, how much mana do I actually have here? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 with Mox Pearl. I can bounce Snapcaster, snap stock up. Will that get me where I want to go? Urza costs more mana than he's worth here. Like, I could just bounce Mox Sapphire, take a draw. Oh, I can't bounce Snapcaster and Mox. I was counting both in my head. All right, so if I bounce Snapcaster, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can snap stock up with 3 mana floating, which is not enough to play Kitten, even if I have it, and I need my zeros still around. I think I have to bounce Mox Sapphire here. Is Snap Ponder better than that? Snap Ponder would leave me 5 mana left. Okay, I think I'm supposed to Snap Ponder. Teferi, bounce Snapcaster Mage. We know they have no responses. There's nothing they can do. Right, Island is not helpful. Ancient Tomb. This turn's going to be about mana, so I will play Ancient Tomb now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Snapcaster Mage. Target Ponder. Another 4 looks at Displacer Kitten. Come on, deck. Bring it together. Ponder. We did it, team. We did it. It's there. It's there. Okay. Academy, Subtlety, Kitten. Don't you dare shuffle that deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Displacer Kitten. Mox Pearl, Flicker Teferi, draw my deck. Win with Jace. We're getting a game 3, squad. Okay, bounce, Mox Sapphire. This is how this combo works. You reset the Teferi, which makes some mana and draws a card every time. It's really nice having this Mox Sapphire that showed up pack 3 in the draft. I might have messed up this turn a little bit. Like the Ancient Tomb, there was a land in my deck that taps for more mana than Ancient Tomb, but obviously I got there without it. I'm going to focus on iterating my combo and not if I could have done that better at this particular moment, but it's possible I could have done that better. All right, I'm going to play Jace Wielder and hope they concede. I don't have to show them anything else here. Just have to click through my combo, which is not too bad in terms of Magic Online clicks go. Okay, the Jace will reset the Teferi, so I can bounce one of their shits here. Get rid of your elemental token. Jace, Flicker Teferi, that's a win condition. Are you pleased, opponent, or do you want to see me click through this? It is fine, I'm happy to do it. I don't really need to be floating mana, but I am. Maybe I'll mill them. Target player mills too, I draw a card. Will they concede to me getting extra info? Nope, they will not. Alright. That's fine. Just looking for spots to save us a minute. And we're at the tail end of this. 2 cards left in my deck. I'm going to flicker Jace this time. Mill my opponent again. And I have another 0, so we're fine. Right, mill you. We did earn 1 card's worth of information that we hadn't seen before. Nissa, Ascendant, Animist in the deck. Okay, sweet. Deck did what it was supposed to do. The sideboard Snapcaster Mage for sideboard Cryptic Command bought me the 1 extra turn I needed to get there. I don't think there's really anything else to be done here. Like, this is a 0-3 on my opponent's turn. They're not really committing crimes, not in the game sense, just in the sense of they keep doing a lot of scary stuff against me. Yeah, I mean, this is the deck. This is as good as it's going to get. Maybe I'll have some power in my opening hand this time. This is a quick Occult Epiphany, quick Forensic Gadgeteer. I'll keep. Ancient Tomb's not power, but it feels like it sometimes. And Ponder can be whatever I want. It's basically Demonic Tutor. Dump their hoof. Not interested this time around. Ponder. Subtlety, Subtlety, Land. I don't really want all these lands. I don't hate this subtlety, though. That is kind of what their deck's about. And I have Occult Epiphany that can shred through cards I don't want. Mox Pearl. They're in there. Scythecat Cub. That card is good. They've already made their land drop, though. I'll save that for the Nadus of the world. I think I'm going to invest in Gadgeteer this turn. Power up future Tolarian Academies. Well, there's everything I was scared of. I'm going to Subtlety. I think I pitch Brain Surge here, because if I play Metamorph, I can trigger Gadgeteer. Or Metamorph's also 2 cards with Occult Epiphany. Alright, I'm going to pitch Brain Surge to buy myself a turn against this thing. And Nadu's on top, of course. Didn't play a land. That doesn't mean they don't have one. It means they chose not to use it here. And I think Occult Epiphany is a better use of my resources this turn than Phyrexian Metamorph. Like, what would I even copy? Like, Mox Pearl, probably. Okay, Nadu resolves this time. Let's see that land you saved from last turn. Please don't chain 4 lands together here. Just flip some non-land card I don't care about. Alright, Once Upon a Time. Perfect. That fits the bill. This thing does trample, but I'm going to Occult Epiphany for the max, because if I can get some good blocks here with my surprise spirits, that's pretty good for me. Right, if I discard Metamorph Island, I get 3 spirits, and then I have Seed Shark, Mox Opal, jump off at Tolarian Academy. All right, I will do this. Block with my 3 spirits and hope this thing dies. I get to keep my Gadgeteer. And if this works, it also breaks up the Nadu loop because they don't have anything to target with. They would need like Dismember. Okay, sweet. Got away with that. Karn Scion, let's go. All right, I'll take some beats to play Seed Shark. Opal triggers 2 friends here. Trigger. Opal's on immediately. Tolarian Academy, pretty good. Ever heard of it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Karn Scion makes a 4/4 Incubator and makes a Fudge Enormous Construct. All right, I am now challenging the board, and I can crack this clue for 1 in their end step. They have Once Upon a Time. They've milled away their hoof. We know Bristly Bill's in there. And we know, or we don't know they don't have a land, but we know they held back playing a land 2 turns ago. Cradle's a pretty good land, but not at the moment, honestly. Just don't time walk me, and we'll be okay. Fanatic of Ronus. That card's way less scary on turn 5 than it is on turn 1 or 2, which is when they've had it every other time this league. All right, end of turn, crack my clue for 1, get a bonus card. No spells, that sucks. I could plus Karn Scion, or I could go to the beats. Yeah, I could just bring Significant Ruckus here. All right, I'm going to play Meticulous Archive. Mox Pearl is not bad. It does trigger all of my stuff, and it's a redraw. I'm going to keep that on top. And I'm going to make a construct, and I'm going to wake up this Incubator token. Oh, that only cost 1. Wasted a mana. Reckless. All right, in for 9. We've seen the damage output that my opponent's deck is capable of, so I don't feel entirely confident in this game plan. But I hope that I have done enough by removing the Scythecat Cub. Oh no. Alright, well, they can do some YOLO Nadu stuff here. They can get a bunch of targets on this deck, flip a bunch of lands, and then see where we are. Sylvan Caryatid. 2 cards left. Alright, they're starting to flip. Bristly Bill, oh no, that's one of the worst ones they could have flipped. But they did let the Nadu trigger resolve, which means Nadu has Shroud. They do have to be careful how they stack these triggers, because now they won't get a second Nadu target. They can't put a target on it with Bill. Flipped Razorverge Thicket. All right, things are happening. That is the worst card they could have had for me, is the Bristly Bill. All right, Bill now has Shroud as well. For 5, they're 1 short of Primeval Titan here. Oh god, this would not take much to make happen. All right, Caryatid has Shroud. Yeah, please play Titania. No. All right, Ronus. Oh no, they got the prime time on. Okay, and all the creatures have Shroud though. All right, this just got interesting. Titania can trigger, hit a forest. This can trigger Titania again. Sylvan Safekeeper still doesn't have Shroud. Plains in play. And the Cradle is untapped, which means Primetime can come in. Oh god. Fast Bond, settle down over there. Alright, well, here is their deck and all of the cool things that it does. I am F6 from here. Luckily, the Nadu having Shroud and the Craterhoof being in the graveyard saves me some of the more scary stuff that could happen. Horizon Canopy and Meticulous Archive enter tapped. Primetime getting some targets. Vaultborn Tyrant, Knight of the Reliquary flipped. And we're not in good shape, team. I need to find that Cryptic Command, that clutch Cryptic Command that has been so important to me. Right, they found Zurin Orb, which makes a lot of creatures with Titania. Right, I have Mox Pearl on top of my deck. That's not exactly great. Right, Karn, show me 2 spells. Thopter Foundry, Narset. Wow, they gave me Narset. Okay. That lets me do stuff. Mox Pearl from hand, trigger all my friends. This is worth +3 mana as well. Basically just pays for Narset. I'm going to tap Ancient Tomb, play Narset. This gives me 1 more mana. I'm trying to find the Cryptic Command in my deck, basically. Buy myself to, well, it doesn't even buy me a turn, it wins outright. All right, Jace Wielder is now in my hand. I have 1 mana floating, I can crack my Clue. Though I can make a gajillion mana first, but if I find Cryptic, I'll need that mana. All right, crack my Clue. Come on, Cryptic Command. Island is not great. I can play Jace without tapping Academy, or I could play Cryptic with what's left over after that. Okay, that's probably better. Jace is in. Jace is going to mill them for 2, and I draw a card. I drew Mind Stone. That one's not very good. It does give me a redraw. It gives me 2 redraws. It's actually fine. All right. If I find the Cryptic now, I just win. So I'm going to try for that. Now my mana is getting low for doing that. Right, Mox Pearl, eat my Clue. Cryptic, Cryptic. Oh no, that's not a Cryptic. Mind Stone. Sack this to draw a card. Cryptic, Cryptic. Mox Sapphire. We're still playing. I can crack my Clue and still have exactly 4 mana left. Cryptic, Cryptic. No, Sword of the Meek. I've been betrayed. Now I'm out of mana to do stuff with. They have to block both of my constructs, but they have shitty blockers that they're happy to do that with. I guess I play Talisman then. Talisman. Do I have enough chumps to survive this turn? Maybe. Probably not. But all I can do from here is pass and try to survive. If they sack lands in the end step, I'm dead. They can definitely go wide enough here. Okay, they didn't do that. Bristly Bill. Trigger. Plains. Trigger. Alright, I am just going to activate some incubators and then get my F6 value. We both have basically no time left on our clock. If they have this convoluted loop of triggers to resolve, I'm going to make them do that. They have summoned Bahamut in their deck. That's awesome. Fractured Identity took my Jace. Oh, they're going to win with my Jace. That's awesome. Hell yeah. I tried. You saw me do it. Oh, they activated Jace already, and Narset means they can't draw extra cards, so this is not actually the loop that they want it to be. Yeah, they're sacking all their lands thinking that Vaultborn Tyrant's triggering, but it's actually not. I mean, it is triggering, but they're not. If they had gone into combat and killed Narset first before doing this, it's still happening. Okay, we're in combat. Primeval Titan's attacking. I'm just going to block that with 2 constructs, and then it looks like I win. Weird game, certainly impacted by the Magic Online clock. Oh, now they're putting it up to me to time out. Dig for the Cryptic. Okay, they get to draw 1 card here, and they will win on their upkeep to Fairy. I'm not sure how good that is. All right, I have time. I can figure this out. I've got 1:48. Sage Shark triggers. I have this Academy. Oh, Teferi cannot bounce Jace, unfortunately. It can bounce any of these dipshit elementals, though. Now they have no cards. Was that a mistake? I'm not sure. I just need Cryptic Command and we're fine. Crack my clue. Planisphere. Any artifact digs deeper while dark ritualing out mana, which includes Sword of the Meek. Now I'm the one with the triggers. Set my auto yields. Should have done it a long time ago. Draw with a clue. Draw with a clue. Come on, deck. Don't betray me here. Oh my god, we did it. Alright. Bounce Jace. I win. Tap all your creatures. Bounce Jace. Ka-chow, ka-chow. Win in combat. Win by decking you. Get it all. Bang! Deck points, life points. They're all over. I've F6'd. None of these triggers matter. They're going to deck themselves to their Vaultborn Tyrant. Oh yeah, the perfect lethal attack while they're at 0 on the clock. What a battle. This was just a slugfest of two extremely well-constructed combo decks just bashing it out. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
On the draw for round 2, as you can see, I changed my deck and switched the Mastermind out for the Snapcaster in the main. This card is just, now that I see the deck in action, this is just such a good mana sink, even if it only has 4 targets. I'm going to keep this hand. It needs an artifact or a land to jump off, but like Mox Pearl and Mox Sapphire are the cards I want to draw the most anyway in the deck, and they make this hand particularly bonko. Oh, well, that card's bonko too. Alright, opponent mulliganed and unmulliganed immediately with Ancestral. Back up to 7 cards in hand. Talisman of Progress works if I hit my next mana on time. JVP. More Ancestral School. Alright, sweet. I could bounce Jace. I think I just want to develop. They're a ways away from this Jace flipping. Grixis, my favorite colors. Kolaghan's Command, chill. And they're making me discard a card? Interesting. Okay. I guess I'm going to discard... Is it Thopter Foundry? That card's really hard for me to cast. I don't have ways to get it back, though, once it's gone. I think... No, it's just the worst card in my hand. I'm going to get rid of it. Kolaghan's Command is pretty good against me. Or at least, it's good against this hand that I kept. I'll just draw a Mox here and easily unlock my hand. No problem. Don't worry about it. Not a Mox, but I'll take it. Archive. Ponder. I'll keep that around. I am going to bounce this Jace. It's getting closer to flipping, and I just don't want them getting any more selection. If we're playing this ticky-tack mana denial game, whatever, you coward. Didn't replay Jace. This could be Hull Breacher, Orcish Bowmaster, just counterspell of some variety. Actual counterspell would be something they would have had to hold back on. Stock up dodges Hull Breacher specifically. I'm not worried about Bowmaster. I think I can outmuscle that. But they would counterspell stock up. They may or may not counterspell Ponder. Nice. They did not. Alright. I will take this island and now see how they feel about the card stock up. Is this what you were saving your open mana for? Their mana might be open for Subtlety, a card that just can't hit any of the things I've done. We play Cross Pod on Magic Online, so the fact I have Subtlety doesn't mean my opponent doesn't. Cool, that resolved. I think I kind of need the Mind Stone for my hand to function, but I also don't want to take it. I want to take Narset and Subtlety. I will. I'll do that. I've hit enough land drops. I'm doing fine, even without the Academy. I'll find artifacts. They're in there somewhere. Hull Breacher. They did have this card. Interesting. Well, Subtlety's pretty bad against Hull Breacher. If I get wheeled, I'm cooked anyway. Alright. I'm going to Subtlety pitching Occult Epiphany, because that card is not going to be cast this game. Really wish this was Force of Will. But against Grixis colors, I can't afford to let them untap with Hull Breacher and just wheel me. It's back. Trinket Mage is mana. Okay. Trinket Mage for Mox blue, and then cast Narset is the plan. Mox, Academy, Narset. Okay, now wheels are mutually assured destruction. And I can block Hull Breacher in combat. Let me get this to Fairy. That's a card that can actually line up and tangle with Hull Breacher. Alright, well, Narset's dead. If they have a wheel, I'm dead too. I could have not minus Narset in case they had a removal spell, but these aren't constructed decks. I like taking risks, making my opponent show me what they actually have here and there. Alright, Pyrogoyf. That's not as bad as Wheel of Fortune. It is pretty big though. I'm going to lose Narset here to combat, and let's see what I can do with my deck. Teferi bounces, then draws, so removing Hull Breacher actually does remove it. Teferi, I would like Hull Breacher out of play. Ooh, a Pyrogoyf. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to make a Pyrogoyf here, except mine is an artifact. Alright, Pyrogoyfs aren't very good at killing each other, but they are good at blocking each other. And this is now enough mana to snap stock up next turn and see where we end up. My combo doesn't work with Hull Breacher in play, the Teferi draw your deck business, because draw is one of the important words there. Dak, they get to steal my Pyrogoyf, that's so nasty. Alright, my opponent's deck is extremely good against my deck. Just in construction, at the base level. Kolaghan's Command, Dak Faden, Hull Breacher, these are all cards I never want to see. Jace is back. I lose Teferi here. Oh, they're going face. Yeah, please disrespect Teferi. Alright, we caught them with their shields down on a turn where Hull Breacher is not in play. And I'm going to snap stock up and see where we end up. Once again, that balance that's not in my deck would be great. Mindstone Urza. This Urza is just a little bit late. My Academy never got online. They had Dak and Kolaghan's Command, so this Academy taps for 1 instead of the 3. At 3, we might be still playing this game. What does this game look like? If I have to take one of the 3 drops to just block. But if I take Seed Shark and Urza and replay Seed Shark, Jace can flip here and cast Cut Down. Then they can attack me to 3. They can also get me in a Hull Breacher lock here, where they play Hull Breacher, then target me with Dak, and they get 2 treasures and I get Mind Rotted. Or they could Ancestral. Oh, Thieving Skydiver too. They have the perfect counter to my deck. I might have to get creative in the sideboard. Ooh. They don't seem to know about the Hull Breacher trick, or don't seem to think it's worth doing here, because they've just activated Dak targeting themselves. Chandra. They tapped out of black. Okay, that's dead. Yeah, there was a onboard lethal line here. That did not happen. Jace Shrinking Snapcaster, that was going to die anyway. The 2 power doesn't matter. Okay, we're getting a turn that we don't deserve. Playing on borrowed time here. They're going face. Probably smart. That way I can't ignore either of the attacks. I'm at 3. And big moves, big rips. That's not the big rip I was hoping for. I can play Urza and get a flip out of him. I think I should play my island first, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flip Urza, and die. Alright. Yikes. What does my sideboard even offer for this deck? Fairy Mastermind, I'll take. I don't think there's a world where I'm brain freezing them out. I have basically nothing here. I could board in the Thoughtseize and the 2 cards that cast it. That doesn't seem very good either. It might just be hope that they don't have Hull Breacher is the plan. Or I could lean on Thopter Foundry, make that a bigger priority. Because that actually does beat everything we saw. Even the Hull Breachers, like they could steal Thopter Foundry with Dak, I guess. I think I want Fairy Mastermind in versus this Ancestral Recall deck. Where does it go? Do I even have room for that? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe this is just the deck. Or I could go back to the pre-sideboard, no Snapcaster build. But Snap Stock Up is so powerful. I could cut the Trinket Mage, though it did have its moment there. Alright, I'll switch out Trinket Mage for Fairy Mastermind, and mostly accept this matchup's terrible, and hope that my draws are better than my opponent's for the next 2 games. I mean, this is pretty good. I'm going to keep This is a lot of mana very quickly, and then we'll figure out where the game goes from there. And I have half of the important combo. Archive, Displacer Kitten. We got to keep it when we see it. It's the most important card that I have. Creeping Tar Pit. And I'm going to stock up here. Teferi and Cryptic Command. All right, well, these are all the best cards that I play. Most of my combos in my hand at this point. All right, don't Thoughtseize me. I need every piece of this. Hallowed Fountain. They're a 4-color deck. I think they mailed that over last game. Maybe I did see that. Relic of Sauron, which will cast Thopter Foundry. Spell Pierce. I'd rather Relic gets Pierce than Teferi. Played around it. Okay, I have this whole combo now. I'm going to cast Teferi, which will, if they're holding up Hall Breacher, demand Hall Breacher. Creeping Tar Pit's really good against Teferi, unfortunately. Snapcaster. Okay, I can pay for Spell Pierce. Got through it. I will pay the Troll Toll on this. It's worth the 2 life. Thank you, Ancient Tomb. I love you. Bounce Snapcaster Mage. Doesn't feel great. Okay, I win next turn if they don't kill Teferi. If they just tap out for some shit, I got them. If that shit is Hall Breacher, it's a little worse. But I can still make infinite mana with Teferi and Displacer Kitten. I just don't draw my deck, and then that infinite mana can cast Cryptic Command or make infinite Thopters. Okay. I have multiple combos in my hand. Imperial Seal. I hope this is setting up like Ancestral Recall for next turn or something I don't actually have to worry about. Sunken Ruins. Glad they didn't attack Teferi here. Please don't Kolaghan's Command. Thieving Skydiver. No targets. We win. We did it. I don't think there's anything in the cube that can help them here. Okay, let's go. I can plus Teferi first. That's not going to change anything. Displacer Kitten. Mox Sapphire, Flicker Teferi. Can we get a scoop, or do you want to see it? It's fine. Happy to click through it. And comboing out with Displacer Kitten is so fun. When Displacer Kitten first came out, I took a Yorion Displacer Kitten deck to a local Legacy tournament and won a Mox Diamond. Do I want Urza in here? I don't think I even want to play that card. I think we just find the Jace and win without giving them anything else. And with a zillion mana floating and a Cult Epiphany in my hand, and they can't pay for an Otawara. Like, I don't know what I'm playing around, but even if they have something that somehow deals with Jace through Teferi, I can draw cards at instant speed over the top. There is a funny win condition here that would work in paper, but there's no way I'd have time to click through it online, is if they do have Hall Breacher in play at some point, like game 3, I could make infinite mana with this loop without drawing cards, and then play my Fairy Mastermind and make both players draw 40 cards. And then if they kill Fairy Mastermind somewhere along the loop, I can make us both draw 40 cards in response. Way too much mana to float, but it's good to know for IRL play. All right, there's the Jace. I'm going to bounce their Skydiver and then show them my win condition. Are you convinced? I'll target you. What did you wish for? Oh, Othari. Interesting. Vamp Tutor for anything and chose Othari. Or maybe that was actually the Jace. Okay, they've seen enough. Game 3. Now they know really what I'm doing. I keep looking at this Thoughtseize. Opal, Talisman, Creeping Tar Pit. So it would be Tar Pit, different Talisman out, or Island for Tar Pit, add Thoughtseize. I have 3 sources of mana for 1 card, and one of them is highly conditional. Oh, I have Relic as well, so there's 4, and I'd have to cut something. I'm not believing in this. The problem is the cut. I worked really hard to find these 40 cards in my available pool. Oh, 1 lander with Ponder. Island Ponder Keep. It's even better in 40 card. Mountain. Ponder. Oh yeah. Book that to my veins. I'll draw Tundra next turn and Academy the turn after. Or I'll draw Tundra now and Academy on my turn. Is what I'm trying to spit out here. JVP. Seems to be their deck's mascot. Mindstone, get in there. I think I am actually going to play out the Opal just in case they have a wheel. Jace. dumped Basic Mountain. They got a lot of Basic Mountains in this 4-color deck. Deck would be a little annoying. Okay, didn't happen. I'll take it. We've seen Spell Pierce. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can play Relic. I could just jam Urza here. Neither of those leave up a counter. I could also just leave up Cryptic Command and pass. I think I want to do that. This might be playing scared, but we've seen cards that are worth being scared of out of their deck. I have very few counterspells, and I'm currently holding one of them if they go for Hull Breacher or DAC. That's a fight that's important for me to win. Jace activation. 3 PI. I don't care about that one. Ancestral Recall. I guess I care about that one. This isn't specifically the card that beats me, but it is a card that finds the cards that might beat me. And this is in a spot where they're tapped low, and my hand is pretty close to just busting out. Okay, Planisphere turns on Opal and goes +1 for Academy, so that's on the house. Now it's Force of Will is like the card I need to care about. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can play Relic and then Urza here. Relic. Is Teferi better than Urza? I don't think so. Get Urza in here. I have 2 mana still. All right, I'm going to pass with this dominating board presence. I'm not worried about Hull Breacher. I'm not super worried about DAC. They don't have the cards in their graveyard to Ancestral again this turn. They don't have the mana for Kolaghan's Command. Concealing Curtains discarded. They have a lot of cards that are good against me, but their deck is kind of a mess here. Like this Third Path Iconoclast just came out of nowhere. Haven't seen that for multiple games, yet here it is now. Okay, white, 1, 2. Test with Teferi, see if they have a response and what it is. If this Teferi gets through, we can start flipping with Urza or bashing with Construct and see where the afternoon takes us. All right, Teferi's in here. I could, before I do anything else, just occult Epiphany for X. Like, if Displacer Kitten is anywhere in the X, I win. But I guess if I loot away the Jace, then I don't win. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do this for a lot. I think I want to bounce their Jace Prince Prodigy and have an extra card in my hand for when I Epiphany. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just Epiphany for a bunch. All right, draw 6, discard 6. None of these are what I wanted. Glad to be done with them. I get to keep 2. Seed Shark is a lot of stuff. Metamorph triggers nothing. Or Fairy Mastermind. This is the spot where that might be good. In Seed Shark, the Mox gets the party going the hardest with Academy and flipping cards with Urza next turn. I'm definitely discarding these cards. I could keep Brazen Borrower in hand. This is generic answer to stuff. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Seed Shark Borrower. But I can't play the Borrower if I play Seed Shark. Okay, I think I am going to keep Seed Shark and Borrower here. I have 2 big attacks. 5/5 and 5/5 coming in. I'm just going to hold up Brazen Borrower and pass the turn. Make sure I don't get my hull breached or my deck Vadened. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. I don't really care about that. They could tuck Urza into my deck, but I can draw into it immediately with Relic. They're plussing Teferi. That means they have mana open at the end of their turn that they can't use because of my Teferi. Do I want to bounce one of these soldiers and just bring the pain? I think I do. I'm in a position to be aggressive, and I'm going to take it. This makes my hero token bigger. Bounce soldier. Attacking with multiple 5/5s and 3 1/1s and a 1/4. They're currently taking 9. All I have to do is put an artifact into play, and they're taking more than that. They're taking lethal. This looks like a good chance to activate Relic of Sauron. Draw 2, discard 1. I got a stock up here. I've heard that one's good. And that is lethal with the Seed Shark, because that'll make an artifact all on its own. Doesn't even matter what else happens here. Thopter Foundry, Forensic Gadgeteer, take those over the pile of lands. And then Urza, make one. I'm somehow short. All right. Oh, wait. I have a land drop. 1, 2, 3. Play Gadgeteer. And this looks lethal to me. Attack my opponent with all my creatures. Oh, wait. They could just block the 2 big ones. What am I talking about? Why am I an idiot? Chat, why didn't you tell me? In my head, they had 1 blocker. I don't know why. Why would I think that? All right. Just don't wrath me. We're still doing okay for the most part. But I am pretty extended here. It's late. I'm recording this at like 9 p.m. and my bedtime is 10. I thought this would be quick, but the previous round took every single minute on both of our clocks. All right, tucking my hero token. That one's not coming back. JVP, 4 cards left. And they've had enough. All right, what a battle. Some weird counting at the end. On to the final trophy round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/TheResleevables. On the draw in the final trophy round, Island Ponder. And I have other stuff going on this time. Swamp. Bauble. Sword of the Meek. Okay. That is an artifact, eventually. Mox Pearl of an artifact, like now. I have 3 mana next turn, so I gotta chill on the relic. Okay. I will simply put this island in my hand for now to insulate versus targeted discard. Okay. I'm gonna play Sword of the Meek first here, and I might not even play any other cards. I could represent a counterspell here, or I could get 2 extra artifacts off of Chrome Host Seed Shark next turn. Ooh, an Academy Gamer. Palantir of Orthonk. I'm going to mill 1. Do you want them to draw a card? No. I took 7. That's a good hit. Good beats. I'll take it. All right. Tundra, Mox Pearl, Relic of Sauron. I don't have to play around Days. They don't have an island. Mox Opal, Chrome Host Seed Shark. That's not what I said I was going to do, but it is pretty sweet. Seed Shark, you're in there. All right, suddenly exploded. Revealed to my opponent that I am, in fact, a Vintage Cube deck after playing 2 lands. 1, 2, 7. I basically did a Tron curve. Swamp, Pearl, Mind Twist. All right, my kitten's gone. That's a tough one to lose. But I'm glad I dumped out 4 cards out of my hand last turn. That twist was going to get me. All right, they got their Mere Battlesphere back, which is quite good with Tolarian Academy, I've heard. Bobbling me. I don't even know what card I'm hoping for, probably Teferi. And I have to mill them again, I think. They went bottom. These are blind mills, memory jar land. I took 5. This is still pretty rough. Narset, hey, that's that girl. I like her. Narset, I get a 3/3 insect, or what is this, incubator? Okay, Battlesphere can kill Narset, which is disappointing, so I'm just going to dig, look for the goods. Epiphany is just a mill, and I can play Jace, and I don't have a blocker. I mean, blocking isn't how I'm winning this game anyway. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, Jace. Get a 4/4. I think I'm... my opponent is a Reanimator deck. I kind of want more information. I'm going to mill them. Nexus of Becoming, milled over. All right. So Battlesphere is extremely dangerous to me at this time. but I've presented a bunch of different problems for my opponent to solve. Okay, here comes the attack. I suspect they will attack me and shoot Narset. It's crazy that Battlesphere hasn't always said Planeswalker it's attacking. Yeah, I guess this card did exist in the Planeswalker times. This is attacking me. Okay, I will block with Seed Shark. I probably have to give them a card off of this Palantir this turn. Reanimating my Seed Shark, sure. Oh, they're a proper Reanimator deck. My Nemesis. Yes, I would like you to draw one card. Big draws. Well, that's among the biggest draws that I have. I'll take it. Will it help? I'm going to keep chasing them. I just want more information. I'm going to lose anyway. Okay. Tolarian Academy is in my deck somewhere, but it is not currently in play, which is a real shame. They can hit me for 6 next turn, like it or not. 4 from the mirror, and then 2 from the flyer. Let me see if Urza resolves. That would give me a lot of decisions and confidence. Okay, Urza's in. I think I'm going to play my island and pass. I didn't need the island, I have Urza. That's how Urza works. These are all lands now. Okay, I am still going to pass. They can put me to 2. I have Subtlety that could touch butts with Seed Shark and battle a creature. Oh, what is this? What is happening? Don't do stuff. I hate when you do stuff. This is so much mana. Is this an Occult Epiphany for most of your deck? And that would also make a Incubator token where X is that. It is Occult Epiphany. They get an 8/8 token and whatever is coming out of these spirits. I don't think this is a survivable combat, but I will look at the 7 cards they discard first. Told you this card was good. If anyone needed my seal of approval. Entomb, Duress, Crabomination, Deep Cavern Bat, Urza's Bauble. That's good for 5 spirits. That's more than I can survive. I guess there's technically a way they can mess up here. Like if they don't tap the mirrors into the Battlesphere. Shallow Grave. Alright, well, now I'm for sure dead. I was dead anyway. Okay. Reanimator is what we're up against here. Trinket Mage, you're out. Fairy Mastermind, you're in. And I think that's all I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm like 1 good black source away from playing this Thoughtseize. Can't do it. On the play for game 2, of course, because that's how it works. I am going to keep this. I have the old Occult Epiphany Sword of the Meek trick that I totally knew worked 2 rounds ago. Brazen Borrower is one of my few ways out of a quickly reanimated Big O. Dark Ritual, gross. Oh my god. What's happening? Oh my god. The full nutting. We're getting nutted. Dark Ritual, Entomb, Mox Pearl. What's the reanimate payoff? Death. Okay. Well, I'm going to discard Sword of the Meek, and this is why I kept a hand with Brazen Borrower in it. This is where they mana tithe me and just make my life. Okay. I mean, that was horrifying. There's an Archon of Cruelty in their hand. I'm a white or black source away from presenting Thopter Foundry. None of these are white or black, but Phyrexian Metamorph is pretty good against Archon of Cruelty. Like if they show and tell, I have a plan. I could snap Ponder here, or I could just get the Seed Shark in. I think I want to hold up Brazen Borrower or Occult Epiphany. I do have something here. I can lay the beats down. Borrow. There's that Metamorph. This could be Snap Ponder this turn. I think it will be. Snapcaster Ponder. Ponderino. Stock up Mindstone. I like stock up and I like hitting my land drop. Mishra's Bauble. I think if they had that any earlier, it would have been played. Stock up. Let's go. Fill my hand with the goods. Mox Sapphire Subtlety. I don't think I'm in the market for Sapphire. Meticulous Archive gets me Thopter Foundry next turn. Archive, Subtlety. And it's not like Subtlety's great against what they're doing, but anything that buys me a turn could be good in that island. Thopter Foundry does beat Archon of Cruelty straight up. Just if I have one and they have the other. Yeah, they're down to 7, which means the card Reanimate is getting worse. But we've seen Shallow Grave in the deck, which is really scary. We know they have Occult Epiphany to set up the Archon from their hand, Collective Brutality, discarding Archon. They're using all 3 modes, draining me for life. I actually only have 1 spell in my hand. Instant or sorcery. I could just cast Occult Epiphany in response. Yeah, they can't take any of this other stuff. I have to discard 1 card. I guess it's Ancient Tomb. This puts my sword back into play. They missed on the discard, but the Archon is in the graveyard. They see the Phyrexian Metamorph, which could be a problem. If they know it's there. If they can afford to play around it. Retrofitter Foundry, greedy. You got a whole Reanimator deck and you're taking cards from honest gamers like me? Alright, I'm going to try the Foundry. They are showing Counterspell mana. Did not have it. That's lucky. I should not have attacked with Snapcaster. I knew they could block, but they can reanimate it. In my head, I was like, it's fine. I'll make the trade. I don't care. I have infinite creature material at this point, but if they can reanimate my Snapcaster, get value off of Entomb or something, that's not ideal. Shallow Grave. All right. Well, I can't do anything about this, so it happens. I lose these things. They're going to attack. I'm going to discard another card. Guess I could have Ashen and Fairy Mastermind to draw a card here. All right, so I discard a card. I guess it's Subtlety. It might just be Metamorph. All right, I'll discard Subtlety and then make a blocker. If they can disrupt my graveyard right now, they have a pretty good path out of here. All right, jump block. Thopter Foundry appears to be doing what it does. Okay, I'm going to wait for Archon to be exiled. Now I'm going to make some pals. If they could have disrupted me, they would have by now. I'm just tapping all the way out. Grinding it back. Have you ever seen a limited game where the player who triggered Archon of Cruelty 3 times did not win? We might be witnessing history. Right, I'll play my planes. I don't think there's any reason to metamorph here. They can do some cutesy shit with Retrofitter Foundry. I've got the real Foundry in play. Flareon Academy. Suddenly a lot of mana. We're going to cast Battle Ball. Ooh, this is actually good because Thopter Foundry has color. That's annoying. All right, well, I guess I'm going to make as many pals as I can on the way through. And the Thopters also have color. Just can't catch a break around here. I got a lot of power and toughness, though. And I'm going to sack the Thopter Foundry to itself. I think it's better off in my graveyard than it is in exile, though I also am not convinced it matters. They can use Ugin to gain 3 life and draw a card, and then I'll Mastermind and draw a card also. Okay, we saved this one for this very moment. Opponent's at 12. I have 11 coming in, and they can make a flying blocker. Oh god, a colorless spell? This is an outrage. Alright. Well, I might die to Ugin. After absorbing 3 hits from Archon of Cruelty, we may die to hardcast Ugin. Bone Shards. Alright. They are desperate, but that is effective. Bobbling me. And they are available to make a Thopter Jace Wielder. Well, that's not long for this world. But I'll draw a card while I can. I'm going to target me this time. Don't want to give them any ideas over there. My Cryptic Command, no. That's one of my better cards. Alright, equip Sword of the Meek the hard way to Thopter. And I think I should just go face here. Attack you. I can't kill Ugin anyway. Do I want to just, like, copy Retrofitter? That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, that's a lot of juice in the tank for me. I have to actually count. I can use 1, 2, untap, that's 5, 1, 2, 7. It costs 7 mana to do 2 things. No, 6 mana, because I could make it a Thopter. So it takes 6 mana to do 2 things. I have 9, so I actually should pay the 2 life here. Alright, I have a Retrofitter Foundry. I'm going to make a Servo, and I'm going to untap it, and then I'm going to pass the turn. I could have sequenced this better with the Talisman. And I can sacrifice Thopters to make 4/4s. These are all Thopters. Alright, I actually have a barrage of 4/4s available now. They're at 4, now they're at 7. And again, this isn't a constructed deck, so how many colorless spells can this Tinker Reanimator deck have? And the answer is a few. but it's not like all of my cards are going to be exiled forever. Well, now they could cast Talisman of Progress, so maybe they are. Right, I'm being Crebominated. They got Thopter, Foundry, Talisman, and Island. That's not bad. The Talisman does exile Jace, though. Thopter, Foundry, you can only sacrifice non-token artifacts to that. Ugin can go ultimate next turn, which means I have to respect it at least a little bit. Cycling Zagoth Triumph. Alright, there. Seems like they're finally running out of gas a little bit. And because they have a 5/5 in play, I think making my Servo flying is better than making a Thopter into a 4/4. Sacrifice a Servo, make a 1/1 flyer. This is 7 damage, but they can gain 1 life if they sack their Mox Pearl. Oh, Jace didn't die. Okay, I get another draw. All right, I'd like to draw a random card, please. Karn Scion. That's a good card. Constructs are huge right now. I have to put a damage on Ugin, because if they have an Eldrazi in their deck, I just lose. What are the chances they have an Eldrazi? Just attacking them for 7 seems pretty reckless here. I think I'm going to put 2 on Ugin, just to make sure I don't die to that somehow, and then attack my opponent with everything else. So they can block and drop their Thopter into a Construct. I guess I had to put 3 on Ugin if I wanted to make sure it took a damage. Like, if they do have Emrakul in their deck now, they are going to win. I might have blew it. They didn't protect Ugin. All right. They protected one of the things that was attacking Ugin, but not the other. That's a weird decision. Okay, Ugin's at 10. It takes 11 to go off. And I guess I'm going to play Karn Scion, make a giant construct, and pass the turn with a bunch of Retrofit or Foundry activations available. Alright, Ugin brings them to 5 life. Thopter Foundry is 7 life represented on board. They're at 5. Played a Swamp. What an insane battle we're in. All of these matches today have been great, however this ends up. Memory Jar. Oh no, this can exile Jace. Can they kill me? That Jace was Insulation versus Memory Jar. If I go down to 7 cards in my deck, they can blast me out with that. If they can make me draw 3 or mill me for 3. Alright, we're jarring. I have no instants here. They got a fresh 7, which will also end up in their graveyard at the end of the turn. If they've got a Brain Freeze or an Ancestral Recall, anything of the sort, they win. Hull Breacher. Okay, that is mercifully after the jar. Though I lose all these cards and can't use them anyway, so it's not a big deal what order that happened in. Alright, I'm going to go to end step and have us all discard all these cards. Oh yeah, they can't do it. Oh my god. What a battle. Alright, that was 3 Archon of Cruelty triggers and 4 or 5 Ugin exile triggers plus 3 Ugin activations, and we still made it happen. That was awesome. Do I want to try to Brain Freeze this opponent? Obviously, their Reanimator deck comes with some concerns. Trying to get creative here. I don't think I can do it. I think I just have to play the cards that Richard Garfield bestowed upon me and hope that they hold up one more time. That was a turn 1 Dark Ritual and Tomb Reanimate, by the way. I need a mana of any variety, but I am going to keep this hand. It's got 2/3 of my combo in it. Bobble. Swamp Pass. Good news, everyone. I didn't get reanimated on turn 1 again. I am going to pass here. Bobble sees Mox Opal at random. Maybe I'll just play it out now that they've seen it. Alright, I'm not surprising you with this. Here it is. Oh no. Stop. Stop. I don't have my Brazen Borrower this time. I'm not ready. Oh, is this just Mind Twist? How bad is it? Sort of. Losing Academy's bad, but as far as the worst that could go, that was not the worst it could go. I'm hitting a land drop. Oh, nice. So Teferi and Stock Up are both online next turn. This is a Mind Twist we can absorb somehow. All right, I'm going to play Teferi to get ahead of Hull Breacher, card that we've seen. Do I want to plus Teferi? I might. I am going to plus Teferi. This is risky if they have Archon of Cruelty all of a sudden. Like, I lose out on a card, but I don't think I'm winning that game anyway. And if I can bank Teferi bounces for when I need them, that's cool. All right, I'm going to stock up. I know I could do this at instant speed, but I have cards that I would play now if I draw. Oh, look at this. Thopter Foundry and Occult Epiphany. We've seen Duress in their deck. Yeah, I'm going to put Thopter Foundry into play. Just put them in check. They have to suddenly get Ugin into play to break this up, I think. Obviously, it's risky. I don't have a way to recur this. But if they do spend energy on this, then I will start digging aggressively for my Displacer Kitten and go off with the other things that I have. Oh no. This is not a card I wanted them to have. Archon does clown the Teferi. Teferi dies with no love. Okay. I have to beat this Archon the old-fashioned way. I guess I'm losing Snapcaster here. Bummer. And if they had that any earlier, they would have used it by now. So it just came together. Palantir. I'll have them mill. If they have a World Spine Worm or an Emrakul, they got me. Don't draw a card. I take 7. It's always Battle Ball. Never not. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses. All right, well, giddy up. I like this one. Pretty exciting. Not a bad rip. Okay. We are suddenly in here, and we killed Shallow Grave out of their hand. Sometimes it takes a big rip. And I can make 4 Thopters in this end step, plus have the Archon around. Oh god, what does this even do? If you have combat on your turn, draw a card, exile an artifact or creature. If you do, create a tapped copy of the exile card, except it's a golem. Okay, so it's like a show and tell that's also it draws an extra card every turn. And it's completely at random. All right, end of turn. I'm going to turn Mox Opal into a Thopter, and then Sword of the Meek into a Thopter several times. This is an attack for 13 by my count. As long as I don't die to Palantir of Orthonk, I think we're okay, which means I should let them draw a card. They went bottom. I do want them to draw a card, so I don't randomly get cheesed out. Did we do it with the Metamorph? We did it! Wow, that was among the most satisfying drafts and gameplay that I've had in a long time in the cube. This draft was sweet. Teferi Displacer Kitten coming together. Taking that early Thassa's Oracle that ended up in the sideboard, thinking this deck was going to be Doomsday, and then having to pivot at the start of Pack 2 into something else. And wow, got lucky in a few spots, but opponents all had really good decks, played really well, and this worked out my way. I'm going to be riding this high for a while. This might actually be the last cube of the season. Or I might see you next week. Either way, videos every weekday. You know where to find me. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.